You are listening to Lesson 3 Chapter 2 of Form 4 African History. Cameroon, General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. Post-independent Nigeria. Reasons for the military coup in Nigeria. In January 1966, military rule was established in Nigeria under General Wacheseh, but he was overthrown in July 1966 by Colonel Gown, who was also overthrown in July 1975 by General Murtala Mohammed. Unfortunately, General Murtala was assassinated in February 1976 and Obasanjo ruled the country until October 1979, when the country was returned to civilian rule under Shagari. He was overthrown in December 1983 by General Buhari, who was also overthrown in August 1985 by General Babangida. Power was handed to an interim executive council headed by Shonekan, who was overthrown by Abaka. The country returned to civilian rule in 1999 under former military leader Obasanjo. The reasons for the frequent military coups in Nigeria were: 1. Political. Widespread bribery and corruption which made government to lose credibility. Corrupt and inefficient judicial system unable to protect the right of Nigerians. Abuse of fundamental human rights such as the right to public protest, freedom of press's radio, public meetings. Corruption, tribal discrimination and nepotism in the appointment in the civil service and army. Failure of governments to effect through accountability of the ill-gotten gains or punish ministers for misappropriation of funds. Poorly organized elections and ragging in favor of rulers' party. Reluctance of the opposition to accept defeat and the habit of always inciting the population to revolt causing disorder, provided pretext for the military to take over power. Manipulation of census to favor politicians and regions. The fear and suspicion especially between the Muslims and Christian, etc. More loyalty to regions rather than united Nigeria. The inability of government to protect the minorities. Many schools were constructed and trained many people without providing jobs. The failure of the educational system to provide enough manpower, especially technicians, engineers, medical officers etc. for development. Rural electrification was lacking in many areas and was very expensive to the rural masses. Failure of the government to provide good water to the masses. Failure of the government to provide good health centers and drugs. Government failed to tackle the problem of jammed street, slums and overcrowding in cities like Lagos etc. 2. Economic. Poverty was very rife in Nigeria, and masses were always in favor of a change. Hatred for the high cost of living which affected the masses and provided the military pretext to take power. Poorly developed transport and communication infrastructure which hindered smooth link between the urban and rural areas. The high unemployment which government could not handle. The food crisis which government could not handle especially in the cities. The impact of military rule in Nigeria. 1. Positive effects. Political. They restored law and order, which had broken down under the First Republic. They created new states, national capital at Abuja. They established the American presidential system of government in 1979. They instilled discipline on Nigerians and reduced bribery and corruption especially under Murtala Mohammed. They made Nigeria to play frontline role in African politics especially at the the struggle for black majority rule in Rhodesia, Namibia, South Africa, Portuguese colonies etc. Socio-economic. They increased the number of universities from 5 to 13. They promoted free education especially under Gown. They created National Youth Service which disciplined and united the youths. They promoted industrialization in Nigeria by establishing car assembly factories for the production of Peugeot, Volkswagen. They encouraged local consumption of Nigerian products. Introduced a new currency called Naira. They encouraged Nigerian to have shares in all foreign companies. They promoted agriculture under Obasanjo. He launched Operation Feed the Nations. 2. Negative effects. Political. They mismanaged state affairs, especially under General Ironside, that led to the civil war between 1967 and 1970. Widespread abuse of human rights, such as arbitrary arrest and imprisonment, censorship of press, radio. They failed to tackle corruption and tribalism. Socio-economic. They embarked on white elephant projects like Festac, the World Scout Jamboree. They failed to reduce unemployment. They failed to stabilize the naira, leading to inflation. They failed to reduce the cost of living, especially in the cities. They failed to crush armed robbery. They failed to end traffic congestion in the big cities like Lagos.